LeBron was ready to walk away from basketball. Then he dropped the most insane decision of his career. The King chose Philadelphia, and suddenly the entire NBA has a terrifying new problem.
So I hit him. I'm like, yo, pull up. Like, I think we got a good chance. I feel like you can help us. You arguably, if not the greatest of all time. So it's like, why wouldn't we want you on our team? You know what I mean? Just gave him the rundown on that. And I probably talked to him at least 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He called me one time. He just chopped it up and just asked me certain questions. And, we working out. So, like, it just is what it is. Like, I just talked to him like that, man. Like, he been a big brother to me since, I got drafted in 2020.
Yeah.
But then came the twist nobody saw coming. LeBron wasn't just deciding where to play next. He was seriously questioning whether he should play at all. And what happened next stunned the entire NBA.
James, he took to social media earlier today and he posted that he contemplated retirement, writing that, "I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I'd played my last game, and I was honest at that last press conference when I said that I needed to look at myself and decide if I still love this game." And he said, "I truly do still love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks, they've been really special. I've never," he wrote, "been able to have no clue what to do and take real time to just think. And I've had an incredible few months with all of the people I love trying to figure it all out. This," and this is noteworthy, he says, "is my last decision." He says, "I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete, to win, and to have a chance at feeling of winning another championship." Now, "I believe," he wrote, "that I can help make Philadelphia a championship team. And I'm so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll love you forever. Northeast Ohio will always be home."
Courtney, he spent the last few weeks talking to Philadelphia, Cleveland, Miami. As we know, those were the teams at the front lines of this because of the simple fact that LeBron James went into this process once he decided to leave the Lakers, that this would be about winning, about competing at a high level, building a culture with a team, having a team that he trusts. The Sixers were not even in the picture, were not on the map until Bob Myers and Mike Gansey went out there and traded for Jaylen Brown. So you have Tyrese Maxey, you have VJ Edgecombe, you have Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. So LeBron James looked at that roster. He looked at the Cavaliers roster. He looked at the Heat roster, and he is choosing the Philadelphia 76ers for a historic 24th season, but he's signing a 2-year deal, a player option for a potential 25th season. So the Sixers and LeBron James are going into this that he could very well play a historic record 25th season. And this is about Bob Myers and Mike Gansey and a slew of their players from Tyrese Maxey, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, all calling LeBron James, having relationships with LeBron James, specifically Tyrese Maxey, and selling them on that vision that it was about winning. And so LeBron James made a decision today that he believes the Sixers are best positioned to go out there and win a championship. LeBron James shocks the entire NBA. He doesn't go Miami. He doesn't go Cleveland. He goes the Philadelphia 76ers, and he chooses Bob Myers, Josh Harris, that ownership group there, and now a starting 5 of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, and Joel Embiid.
So LeBron, though, going to the Philadelphia 76ers, sportsbooks had Miami and Cleveland flip-flopping on the favorites. We hoped for Golden State just strictly because of what it could have been. Philadelphia, I don't know if anybody was really thinking this was going to happen. You mentioned yesterday, Vetman, $4 million, $7 million, maybe some incentive offset stuff. He signs a 2-year, $8 million deal with the 76ers. This is what he thinks he could win his next title with. Why do you think we landed in Philadelphia, Shams?
Pat, everyone is stunned in the NBA, right? Like when you think about LeBron James, Cleveland, Miami, those teams are going to be mentioned as the front runners. But we've been saying on this program for the last 2.5 weeks, Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia. There was a reason why we kept mentioning Philly, because when you look at their roster, they have Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid. And we were all going to take whatever LeBron James, his intentions were at face value. He made it very clear from the beginning. I want to compete for a championship. I want to win at a high level. This is not a money-driven decision. That's what LeBron James made very clear from the outset of this process when he decided to leave the Lakers on June 30th. So now a month later, he was going to have to put his money where his mouth is. And today, what I see most from this decision is he is choosing that the Sixers give him the best chance to win a championship. It's not about legacy of going back to Cleveland. It's not about going to Miami where he also played. Those were legacy plays with a chance to win a championship, right? But how do you give yourself the best chance? And so he feels joining the Sixers, it's about winning. It's about competing.
From a talent standpoint,
LeBron James was closer to retirement than almost anyone realized. When the season ended, LeBron admitted he genuinely thought he was done. After more than 2 decades of basketball, he needed time to step away and ask himself one terrifying question. Did he still love the game enough to keep going? And after several weeks of reflection, the answer was yes. LeBron said he still wanted to sacrifice, work, compete, and most importantly, win another championship. That changed everything. Because this wasn't simply about choosing his next team. LeBron was deciding whether his legendary career deserved one final chapter. And once LeBron decided he wasn't finished, the biggest question in the NBA became brutally simple. Where would the king go? The obvious answers were Miami, Cleveland, maybe Golden State. But Philadelphia? That was the shock. LeBron had reportedly been focused on winning, competing at the highest level, and finding a team he trusted. Then, Philadelphia suddenly became impossible to ignore. The Sixers had Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, VJ Edgecombe, and after acquiring Jaylen Brown, their roster suddenly looked like something LeBron could actually believe in. Imagine it. Maxey, Edgecombe, LeBron, Brown, Embiid. That's not a retirement tour. That's a championship lineup. And LeBron apparently looked at that roster and decided Philadelphia gave him the best opportunity to win another title. But Philadelphia didn't simply wait for LeBron to choose them. Their own superstar players went directly into recruiting mode. Tyrese Maxey revealed that he personally reached out to LeBron. His pitch was direct. Yo, pull up! Maxey told LeBron that he believed Philadelphia had a real chance and that LeBron could be the piece that pushed them over the top. And this wasn't one phone call and goodbye. Maxey said they spoke 3 or 4 times, with LeBron even calling him once to ask questions and talk through the situation. There's also a personal relationship here. Maxey has looked at LeBron like a big brother since being drafted in 2020. So when Maxey called, this wasn't just a young player recruiting a superstar. It was a player saying, "Come finish this with us." And Maxey wasn't alone. Joel Embiid and Jaylen Brown were also part of Philadelphia's effort to sell LeBron on the vision. The message was simple. This team believes it can win. And that pitch worked because LeBron wasn't chasing money or nostalgia anymore. He was chasing one thing. LeBron made his priorities clear. This wasn't about money. It wasn't about family. It wasn't simply about returning to Cleveland or Miami. He wanted to know, what am I really playing for? And his answer was another championship. That's why Philadelphia makes so much sense. Cleveland offered history. Miami offered history. Los Angeles represented another major chapter of his career. But Philadelphia offered something different. A new challenge with a loaded roster. And LeBron clearly believes he can help turn that roster into a championship team. That's an enormous statement. Because Philadelphia hasn't won an NBA championship since 1983. Now, one of the greatest players in basketball history is arriving at 41 years old, entering his 24th NBA season, believing he can change that. And then came another number that made the decision even more unbelievable. LeBron James is reportedly signing a 2-year, $8 million deal with Philadelphia, including a player option that could open the door to a potential 25th NBA season. That's roughly $4 million per year. For LeBron James, the all-time scoring leader, a 4-time champion, a player who has spent his entire career at the center of the NBA universe. And he's essentially saying, the money doesn't matter. The championship does. Because LeBron could have chased a bigger payday. Instead, he chose the situation he believes gives him the best chance to win. And that makes Philadelphia extremely dangerous. But the contract isn't the real story. The terrifying part is what Philadelphia's starting five could actually look like. Tyrese Maxey brings speed. Jaylen Brown brings power and athleticism. Joel Embiid brings size and dominance inside. VJ Edgecombe brings youth and explosiveness. And LeBron? LeBron brings something no other player on this roster can replicate. 24 seasons of championship experience. At 41, he doesn't need to be the player he was at 27. He doesn't need to score 30 every night. He needs to make the right reads, create opportunities, control the biggest moments, and help the stars around him become better. That's why this experiment is so fascinating. Some people will say Philadelphia is taking a massive risk with an aging superstar. Others will say the Sixers just added one of the smartest basketball players ever for roughly $4 million a season. And both sides have a point. Because if LeBron stays healthy and Philadelphia's stars stay healthy, this could become one of the most dangerous teams in the Eastern Conference. But if the chemistry fails, the pressure will be enormous. And that's what makes this decision so much bigger than another free agency move. LeBron James thought his career might be over. Then he decided he wasn't ready to stop. He looked at Cleveland. He looked at Miami. He looked at the other possibilities. And somehow, against almost every expectation, he chose Philadelphia. Not for the money, not for comfort, not for nostalgia, for one final championship chase. A 24th season is now coming. A potential 25th season could follow. And LeBron is walking into Philadelphia believing this roster can give him another chance to lift the trophy. Maybe it works. Maybe it collapses. Maybe the pressure becomes too much. But that's exactly why this is so compelling. Because the king was standing at the edge of retirement. And instead of walking away, he chose one last war.
Yo, mic check 1 to 2, -1, -2. Game over for this video, folks. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to stay in the huddle for more. This is NFL Madness, bringing the heat and signing out.